Reese fan versus 10 Angel Reese haters. This girl is probably about to get demolished. All right, y'all. I'm Jalen, and welcome to my channel. I go to University of Iowa, so it's gonna be like a little like cool just to see like what everybody have to say. I'm also on the track and field team, so I kind of have like an insight of how sports are here. But if you already know about the whole Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese thing, the hand wave, the she bounds, the her bounds, the turnovers, and all that extra crap, just watch this video. This video should be super exciting, super good. Let's just get straight into it and let's just see what they have to say.
Angel's only in the first year of her career. She's very young.
Juju is above her and she's still in college.
She has won on every single level and has had double-doubles on every single level.
She throws the ball at the rim, gets it back to put it back up to
Told
get
you.
her record.
Is she not supposed to give her team another opportunity?
If she made the first layup, she wouldn't have to rebound.
We're talking about ball. We're talking about the game. Caitlin West scored, 769 points in her rookie year.
If I give Angel Reese flowers, doesn't take anything away from Caitlin Clark.
Angel impacts wanting to be a part of the culture. Caitlin impacts wanting to be a better ball.
She already doing too much. Look at this. She already doing too much. She already.
Welcome to Fan v Hater. Today we have content creator, sports expert, and Angel Reese superfan Mariah Rose set to debate a dream team of Angel Reese haters in the building. We're going to go through a variety of debate topics, and by the end, our esteemed panel of...
I guarantee every one of the haters are going to bring up something about Caitlin Clark. It's not even going to be that they hate Angel Reese because they hate her, but they hate her because she's the villain or like the arch nemesis of Caitlin Clark. I guarantee everyone's going to bring up something about Caitlin. Watch.
will determine who took home the victory. With that said, Mariah, we can start with your first debate topic.
Angel Reese is unfairly criticized for being a strong competitor.
What up, baby girl?
Nice to meet you.
Pleasure. So I'm gonna just keep it funky. Cool. I agree to a point, right? The reason why I feel like she isn't unfairly criticized is because I'm not gonna go into the bad guy, good guy. At the end of the day, Angel faces everywhere. Right? And so when we talk about marketability and her inability to finish, her inability to do certain things, I think it goes to that. So I'm gonna keep it a band with you. I agree that if she gonna be the aggressor, then be the aggressor. At the same time, if you're gonna throw punches, you gotta take them. And so I felt like to your point when you said, I bet she did. You can't see me because Caitlin did it. Absolutely right. But now when you come in the league, right, and you fall in, you know what I'm saying? You got your 13 and 13, but
She's a rookie.
We should make a bunch of agents that work across our
Bro.
teams.
A gaggle of agents.
People gotta understand that like rookies take a minute to adjust. You're not just gonna come to a league and dominate how people think you
And
are.
my gaggle of agents can plan our team.
now it's not translating to winning. And so I think a lot of that backlash comes from that. I see you on McDonald's, I see you at the galas, I see you here, I see you there, I see you there. But now when it comes to the game, you the aggressor, but you're not winning. And you're getting hurt. And there's room for improvement. So I feel like in that respect, it's like I bet like be the bad guy. All right, we outside, right? The allure of it all. But the allure of it all is I'm seeing this and it's not backing that up. So who you trying to be? You trying to be, you trying to be the dude on the Sprite can? Or are you trying to be the soda?
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's why I feel like she does get fairly criticized because it's like you can't be outside and be missing layups or 5 or 10 rebounds.
So you're saying that Angel
type
Reese's attitude, quote unquote, doesn't translate to winning.
Yeah.
But she won a championship in college.
Yeah.
And she won 3 state championships in high
Yeah.
school.
And so the
she won an
height-
AAU championship.
Right, but the
Caitlin
height-
hasn't won a
Oh,
championship.
I ain't
at all,
talking about
actually.
Caitlin. You
But
ain't never heard me brought up Caitlin.
But-
You talking
Yeah.
about
In general.
Angel
But
Reese
you did bring up
unfairly
this.
criticized.
But you did bring up Caitlin because you brought up the
No, I just brought
I
that
just-
up
Right.
to say I see you. You
Right.
feel me? And I'm gonna come through you on another angle.
Right, but you're saying that that Angel's style of play, her attitude, her aggressiveness doesn't translate to winning, but she's won on every single level, except for the WNBA, which she's been in for 1 year, and was the 7th overall pick. As you know, as a sports fan, I think we all know, no team that has a top 10 pick is the best team.
Right.
Also, they fired their coach and brought in a
which was
brand new
crazy.
coach.
Shout out Teaspoon.
Angel was working with Lisa Leslie in the offseason on her jump shot.
Was she working with Lisa Leslie or did Lisa Leslie say, hey, yo, come here? So we gotta be.
What? That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if she said, "Hey, come here," or it doesn't matter if Lisa Leslie said, "What?"
Wait, no matter who's who.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about
But that makes no sense because no matter who
Can I finish? Can I cook?
Go ahead.
Can I cook? Because, all right, here's my thing. Like, again, we talking about unfair criticism. That's all we talking about. I don't think she's unfairly criticized if I'm saying peekaboo, peekaboo, right? And I'm doing these things, right? But at the same time, I feel like it's half-assed. If I'm going to be outside on everything else, when I get on the court, I got to be outside too. And I'm not saying she not outside. I'm saying she got a ways to go before she outside. Like, Lisa Leslie was undeniable.
Right.
I'm saying that Reese can still be deniable with her injuries. Yeah, she's won at every level, but she's also been injured at every level. She's had issues at
What does that have to do? As an athlete, you're gonna get injured sometimes, bro.
every level.
But like,
She's transferred at every
but
level.
saying-
So again, polarity and duality.
But
so
she
all I'm
hasn't
saying
transferred
is
at every level. She's only been in the WNBA for 1 year. She
right.
hasn't
No, but
transferred
she transferred in college
But
after
she-
getting hurt. She also got hurt in the playoffs.
But she was. But
Where
she
her
was
team
winning
was
at-
18
she
and
was
22.
winning at-
She
winning
was
at
point
Maryland,
four. They didn't win because of Angel. They won because that entire team. And more so, Cardoza quiet as kept. We keep that on for another day.
Cardozo,
Because
but that has
she
nothing to do
didn't.
with college.
No, I'm talking about Chicago Sky. What I'm
Right.
saying, my point was her ability to be outside with everything that she's doing, which I think is great.
Right.
Girl, let me hold something.
Right.
At the same time, that warrants the criticism that she gets because she's constantly in the public eye. So
Is LeBron not in the public eye?
we're not talking about LeBron. This is who runs
But,
the
like-
world? Girls. We talking about girls. This is girl conversation.
Okay,
I'm
but
real
that-
feminist right now.
but
All I'm
who
saying
runs the
is
world? Girls,
she,
the Beyonce song.
she's
Is she
not
outside?
She's not. I'm saying,
What does
and
her being
Beyonce
outside
gets
do
crazy
today?
criticized, and Beyonce not outside like don't criticize me. I'm
Right.
the best. Criticize me. I'll take it. I'll eat it.
Right.
And I think Angel
That's
could
a
be the same. If she really
difference,
wants.
bro. That's artists and freaking artists and athletes. Like, she just
Space, then let people criticize you because at the end of the day, you out here missing layups, bro, while you eating McDonald's. Let's
But
talk
what are you
about
talking
it.
about? Because in their preseason game against the Brazil national team, she played for 17 minutes and went for 15 and 12. So what does that?
I'm not denying her greatness. We're talking about her.
But you are
unfair-
denying her
I'm
greatness.
not denying her greatness. The topic was unfair criticism. I'm
Right.
saying she's not unfairly criticized. If she big, she got on the big draws, then she can handle the big takes. That's what I'm
Right.
saying.
Right. Okay. Good.
Yes, Bree. Pleasure, baby. Yeah, it's Sunday afternoon.
Nice to meet you.
I couldn't do this video. I'll be
No,
mad.
I don't think she's unfairly criticized. You got to go by the basketball. She's 39% shooting from the floor. That's god awful. That's below average. She's she can't even get to the club with her percentage with 18%. Okay, she's pretty bad. Okay. She gets blocked. You know how many times she gets blocked?
How many times?
2.2 per game. That she gets blocked more than games she played. Okay? She deserves to be criticized on a basketball level. We gotta tell the truth about Angel Reese. Stop pretending like. Listen, I understand. She's a young female. We don't want to criticize her. I get that, but at the same time, we gotta be honest here. She missed so many shots. Like, she missed layups. She missed that layup, that Brazil game you brought up earlier. She missed a layup on a fast break. She's a pro player.
Right.
A Hall of Famer, Lisa Leslie, had to pull her to the side for two reasons. One, her behavior, because she was like, hooty hoo, and Unrivaled, right? And she didn't like that. Because she was making fun of Nafisa Collier.
Right.
She pulled her to the side. Hey, girl, you need to relax there. She's trying to teach her how to be a professional. But also on the basketball side, she's missing layups. Even she said it, like, girl, why are you missing layups for? You're a pro. A Hall of Famer, one of the best of the best. One of my favorite players, Lisa Leslie, who I grew up with, had to tell her that. Okay? And that's just a basketball side, but just her mouth. She really has to be careful what she says. Because she said,
Why?
I want to get why? Because she said, I want to be the bad guy. She wore those Joker shoes against Caitlin Clark because she wanted to show off those Reeboks. I'm the Joker. And then when it came to the press conference, where was she? Nowhere to be found. She actually got fined for that. She has to own up to her words. Accountability. That's her problem. That's why people have a problem with her. People don't mind her attitude. I like her attitude. I like her bravado. I love that. I love that about her. But at the same time, you got to own up to that role. You want to be the bad guy? Be the bad guy. Don't be a little, little coward and run away. You got to woman up, own up to your mistakes.
Fair. You made a lot of points here. First of all, the woman up, own up to your mistakes, that sort of thing. You can't say in the same breath, oh, you have to own up to it, you have to own up to it, you have to be able to do that. But when she's doing it, you can't be like, she has to watch her mouth. You got to pick one.
No, she does, because she's a professional.
But no,
everything you say, she got a lot of young girls looking up to her, right? Everything you say, you got to be presidential when you're that level. She's not just a regular star. She's a superstar in the WNBA.
But you're saying
that's why
if she's gonna
Caitlin
be who
Clark
she
is very careful with her words. She can't say what she really wants to say.
No. First of all, Caitlin Clark and Angel, they're two completely separate personalities.
Okay.
You can't say, oh, Caitlin watches her mouth and Angel doesn't.
Well,
but then in the same breath say the reason I love my Angel is because of her bravado, because she does this, because she does that.
I don't mind
but you can't say you don't mind it. And then
but
in
she
the same
says
breath,
things but doesn't follow through. Like I said,
but how did she not follow through? With this, did she not win the ring?
Are you
How
really
does that not follow through?
okay? I'm going to talk about that. The whole thing.
Right.
First of all, Caitlin Clark wasn't even doing it to anybody. She was doing it with her teammates when she did that. And first of all, the game was already over.
Ask Haley
Caitlin
Lindley
Clark the whole time.
about.
You already won. You beat her down. Yeah, they whooped her ass. And by the way, she was the fourth scorer on that game. There's 3 players who scored 20 or more in that game. Everybody forget about them, but everyone remember this. That's what they were remembering.
Who was the most outstanding player of that tournament? Who was it?
Angel Reese.
Okay, so you're saying so you're bringing up.
But we all know that Caitlin Clark. But what? So what? No. But okay, hold on. And then the following year, who knocked out LSU the following year? Dropped 41 points on her ass. Who did that?
Did you watch the game?
Yeah, I did watch the game. 41 points.
When did Angel Reese get hurt in that game?
What?
When did Angel Reese get hurt in that game?
Oh my God! They lost. They got their butts whooped.
That's not the point. We're talking about Angel Reese, right? We're talking about Angel Reese and knocks on Angel Reese. When did Angel Reese get hurt in that game?
Bro, they all making me mad, bro. Already, like.
What are you talking about?
You don't know.
No, it's not that. We're moving the needle. Like, let's stick to the topic. Let's go back to. I'm going back to
what she You're asking to
no, she just no. She's not unfairly criticized. Basketball-wise, unfairly criticized. No, she's not.
What warrants her criticism?
What warrants her criticism is the way she acts. The way she acts.
But I thought you just said you love the way she acts.
She's supposed to be a professional. No, she's supposed to be a professional, bro.
Okay.
Wow. Luka Doncic offense and Luka Doncic defense. Yeah.
All right, so the premise of this argument started with, is Angel Reese unfairly criticized?
Yes.
Period. No, right? Like, and I'm saying this as a black woman. I'm coming to this table as a black woman. I carry that on my shoulder every day, right? I see what she gets. I see it. We all get it. But I remember growing up, hearing my mom and my grandma tell me, as a black woman, you got to work twice as hard to get half as much.
Is that fair?
No. It's life.
Right, but I'm asking if it's fair.
It's life.
That's the prompt. The prompt is Angel Reese unfairly criticized? You come to the table, and I'm a black woman as well. Mm-hmm. You come to the table and you say, Angel Reese is not unfairly criticized, but then in the same breath, you bring up something we've both been told all our lives, you gotta be twice as good to be half as much. Life or not life, is it fair?
Hey, it's fair to me.
She just stands up to prove her point, bro.
I rise above it. You rise above it, right?
It's not about.
But at the end of the day, right? Hear me out. At the end of the day, Angel Reese is, as my teammates have said, is a professional, right? She has decided that playing basketball professionally is what I want to do, right? Like, do I agree with the criticism she gets about her attitude, her villain, whatever? Do I agree with that? No. But is her criticism on basketball, her basketball play? Absolutely. I agree with that. That she is not unfairly criticized. Is she unfairly criticized as far as her personality, her attitude? Sure, absolutely, because using words like aggressive and things like that to describe her.
But also that discounts your points right there, because
How?
when we're talking about Angel Reese and we're talking about her criticism, everybody in here knows that when it comes to criticism about Angel Reese, it is not strictly game.
But we're here to talk about basketball, though.
Yeah, 100%. But if we're going to talk about the fact, is Angel Reese unfairly criticized as a whole, you can't say, oh, put all that other stuff to the side. She's not unfairly criticized, because all of that other stuff bleeding into how people criticize.
But a lot of that is
based
based off of, okay, like my friend back there said, right? If you are going to talk that shit, right, you gonna be that player, you gotta back it up and play like that.
Right.
At the end of the day, you cannot come in there doing this, and like, I'm the big bad, I'm the new face of the league and all of this, and you...
When did you say that?
Bro,
like,
I promise you...
is definitely came out as the face of the league. Like, she is.
Yeah, but you're putting that label. But you're putting that label.
Also put that label on her that she's the new face of the league.
But
they make arguments that
what does that have to do with her?
They've made arguments that she should have been. Her organization has made arguments. Everybody around her, her camp, her
is
mom
the organization
has made,
not supposed to call her the face? Be real. They're marketing their organization. Who's going to say the face of the organization?
Did they not take another pick ahead of her in Camila Cardoso? They could have made her the face of the league, but they decided to make it Angel Reese. Why? Because of everything that she is. All of her marketing. marketability,
But
right?
if we're gonna straight up sit here and say just because somebody got drafted first, they should be the face of the team. I mean,
Is that not how that typically works?
I mean, let's talk about Tom Brady.
Like,
Let's talk about Tom Brady, 199th pick. That has nothing to do with nothing. That she was in 7th. It's not like she was drafted like super low. She was drafted 7th.
7th, and they had a pick at 3.
So what does that have to do with them marketing her? That makes sense.
In the same draft.
Marketing.
No, she's a 4.
But that's smart marketing. Who else would you market Angel Reese or Camila Cardoso as the face of your franchise? Be real with me.
Camilla, but I'm also a South Carolina fan, so yeah.
There's a reason. There's a reason it's that way.
Why? Because
Angel Reese is the face. She didn't ask for that. You get what I'm saying?
Okay, so she is the face. So when you're the face, you have to stand 10 toes around all of it. You got to take the good, the bad, the ugly, all of it.
But if she keeps doing it, if she hasn't stopped doing it, and she continues to get criticized for it, how is that stepping back and not doing it? You're saying she has to stand 10 toes down. How is she back down?
Because her play does not match it. Her play on the court.
But you're judging a body of work off of 1 year, whereas
But you brought up her high school and
wait, how does that not? How she have not shown it when she literally? What did she average? Yeah, these people. Let's see, bro. What did she average? Her let's see. Because there's no way, like, seriously. What did Angel Reese average in her first WNBA season? She averaged 13 points and 1 point steals per game. Her 13.1 rebounds was the most by any rookie in the WNBA. Okay. So I'm confused. How is that not proven?
On every level.
Yes, but she's not even making the playoffs in the WNBA. I don't know about you. I don't know about you, but
how many players in basketball are you putting it on them to go to the playoffs their first year?
I hate to bring it up, but Caitlin Clark made the playoffs last year.
Right, fair. She was.
Also, you forgot to mention that 2 years ago they also had #1 pick, which was Aaliyah Boston. But okay.
The year. She was rookie of the year. Fair, completely fair. But that doesn't take away from the fact that Cameron Brink was 2nd overall pick. Where was she during the playoffs?
She hurt.
Right, but
what? That's not fair. She got hurt.
But
you brought up when Angel got hurt in that one game against Caitlin. You brought up when Angel got hurt. When did Cameron Brink get hurt last?
Oh, in the beginning of the season. My point is,
why do you bring her up?
I bring her up because any team that has that high of a pick in the draft is not good. Is not good.
What? But okay, so that means Indiana Fever had the #1 pick. That means by your logic, they should not have. Angel Reese was 2nd in voting for Rookie of the Year.
She got 1 vote.
All right, that's a good one to end on right there. I didn't even know that was true. You got 1 vote.
Now, I don't think
This
she's
dude
unfairly.
Look at him. He looked like. Hold on. He looked like. Wait. The Krabby Patty. Dang. Patty. The Krabby Patty Stealer. SpongeBob. Pickle episode. Him! Ah! Ain't no way. Hey, tell me I'm not lying. Tell me am I tripping? Tell me am I tripping, bro? Am I tripping? Alright. This dude.
Criticized because when you trying to be the bad guy, the bad girl, you can't, if you dish it out, you got to be able to take it. If you're going to be a competitor across the board, whether if it's playing aggressively, whether if it's trash talk, whether if it's standing up for your teammates, then you can't get mad when the public don't perceive it the way that you want people to perceive it. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to be the bad guy, now remember, the bad guys from the Pistons era, they didn't care how they were judged. They didn't care that people looked at them like they were the bad guys. They wore that. So you can't be the bad guy and then want to be the good guy all in one. It's either one role or the other.
I wish HR had fancy AI.
I don't ever think she said she wanted to be the good guy. I don't.
Finance? Yeah. And
What exactly did Angel Reese do that made you feel like she wanted to be the bad guy?
All right. It's not necessarily all that she does, but there are things that she do with taunting.
Yeah, I'm asking what specifically.
Okay, the taunting, the trash talk.
Do people not trash talk? Boy, if you don't get your trash talk.
The playing aggressive, right? Now, all of that is considered like the public perceives her as the bad guy.
Right, but what taunting specifically are you referring to?
Okay, now when she beat Caitlin Clark
Right.
in college, right? We all saw, her taunting. I got the ring. This, that, and
The You Can't See Me. That Caitlin Clark did on March 26th, and then Angel Reese did on April 6th when she beat her.
Yes.
But Caitlin did it first. So how is she not the villain? What's the difference?
I think
Black and she's white.
Caitlin does it less.
No, what? You watch women's basketball? Caitlin doesn't do it less.
Caitlin does it less.
Caitlin
Angel
trash
Reese talks
talks
more.
Caitlin trash talks for sure. For
Okay,
sure.
but she doesn't trash talk as much as
I don't even
Angel
know if
Reese.
Caitlin would agree with you if she were listening to you right
Sure?
now.
Who's more of the aggressor?
What
Who's
aggressor?
more of the aggressor on
Be
the
careful
court?
with that word. What specific are you talking
Hey,
about?
look at girl
Playing
in the back.
defense?
Aggressor on
Be
the
careful
court.
with that word. What specific are you talking about? Playing defense?
No,
Getting
no.
rebounds? What are you talking about specifically? Aggressor? Because they play two different positions.
Yes, that's
so Caitlin isn't necessarily on the court to be an aggressor.
Aggressor,
That's
right.
part of Angel Reese's game. So
Okay.
she's in the WNBA. She was picked 7th overall because she's a quote unquote aggressor.
Yeah.
I mean, I take it you're a Knicks fan.
Yes.
Is that a Jalen Brunson jersey?
Yes, it
So
is.
what's the difference between this and this? The only difference is Jalen Brunson doesn't have this in the NBA. Otherwise, I'm sure he'd be doing the same thing.
True.
I mean, a lot of players who win rings will be taunting, Golden State Warriors do it all the time.
Right, this, right?
Yeah.
So
Talking
what's the
about
difference
how
between
much
this and this?
rings.
Actually, the only difference is Steph just straight up started doing this. Angel did this as a response to something that Caitlin did on March 26th. So
Are you saying that
Right.
Caitlin doesn't get the same backlash as
Not at
Angel
all.
Reese? That's what
actually,
I'm saying.
you said that. You
doesn't,
said
though.
that Angel Reese gets a ton of backlash and she should be able to take it because she paints herself as the villain. Now, what I'm hearing is Angel just did something that Caitlin had done first a week prior, and as a response to what she had seen Caitlin do a week prior,
Right.
and now she's getting unfairly criticized for it. That's what the whole conversation's about. You brought that to the table, that Angel
Right.
is getting
Yeah.
criticized.
Is that it?
Think of it like football. You can finish your sentence, but don't go overboard.
Okay, I would like to say that although they both did the same taunts, watching the game, I do see Angel Reese as more as the taunter than Caitlin Clark.
Don't you think that's your problem and not Angel's? If you see her that way, you chose to see her that way.
You don't think it's something that she does?
But
I'm not letting that go.
we just discussed, I just gave you the dates, that Caitlin did the exact same thing, but you saw Angel as an aggressor. So what does that say about you? That has nothing to do with Angel. Angel Reese's ceiling is a top 10 all-time WNBA player.
This is good.
Let's not forget that Angel's only a rookie. We're talking about top 10 greatest of all time. You have to be top 10 currently to even be considered in that conversation. Angel's not even a top 25 player to me right now. For somebody her position, she's a big. You need to be able to finish around the rim. Would you say that that's probably one of the key components of being a big man in the WNBA?
100%.
So why is it that Angel's shooting under 39%, under 50% around the rim? Lisa Leslie, as one of my teammates mentioned before, one of the greatest of all time, has said that Angel needs to work on her layups. Let me take you under my wing. This is somebody that needs to excel in a lot of areas before being considered the greatest of anything. So, yeah, it's great. She's a great rebounder, and, she broke the rebounding record, the single-season rebounding record. This is a stat we probably don't even know about. She's the leading self-rebounder in the NBA over her own misses. Like, she's rebounding her own misses.
what's
So
wrong
it's
with
like,
that?
those stats are a little inflated.
Because
Almost-
also if you took away all of her rebounds from her all misses, I heard that she would still have a double-double. Like, she'd still be averaging a double-double. But
Just slow down a little bit. Like, top 10, I need to see top 10 center in the WNBA before we talk about top 10.
See, that's how I know people don't watch, because she's not even a center.
The greatest of all time.
I hear you. I would bring your point back to you that she's a rookie. So judging her off of that 1 year is a bit unfair. Number two, I do hear that point a lot about her rebounds on her own misses. I completely hear you on that, but also, like, what's she supposed to do? Just look at him? You know what I'm saying? Is she not supposed to give her team another opportunity? If she not supposed to?
If she made the first layup, she wouldn't need an offense. She wouldn't have to rebound.
Agreed. 100% agreed. 100% agreed. But like you said, she's a rookie, so we've slowed down there. Number two, I'm glad you brought up Lisa Leslie, because she is working with her on that. And if you watch the film of them working together, it's on that very thing, on finishing. Once Angel is able to finish consistently the way that she was in college and in high school, she won on every level. Okay, Angel is a champion. She's won on every level.
I don't know if she was necessarily ever finishing well. She wasn't really finishing well in college either. I just think that she was more physically dominant, so her numbers translate a little bit better in college. But we said ceiling. So what about her game makes you feel like she could be the best of all time, other than the rebounding, which we talked about is a little inflated?
I'm glad you asked. So if you look at some of the top 10 players in WNBA history right now, you brought up Lisa Leslie. So she doesn't have a scoring championship, which I think Angel might never have. Like, she might never be the scoring champion. That's fine.
You don't have to score to be the best.
But also, she could make what? I want to say Lisa Leslie has 5 all-defensive teams. Angel could very well have that. She broke Candace Parker's record for most consecutive double-doubles, as mentioned. And so I think that her breaking all of those records as a rookie, she was an all-star as a rookie. So Angel's only in the first year of her career. She's very young. She has a ceiling to have many more all-star appearances as the face of the Chicago Sky, who won a championship in 2021. I might add, so it's championship organization.
But what area is she going to be dominant in? Other than rebounding, you can't be the greatest of all time and be a great rebounder.
Right.
She's not a good scorer, as we know. You said she's a good defender. She's averaging under a block a game. I don't see a ceiling for being a great defender, a great rim protector. So I don't. Is she a top 10 player now?
No, she's not. I said ceiling.
So what do you see? Right.
In her first year.
But what do you see her trajectory being as far as like timeline? If her ceiling is to be a top 10 player of all time.
Right. I could see her Angel getting at least 4 or 5 all defensive teams in her WNBA career. I could see her being an all-star. I could see her being an all-star what?
I mean,
8,
I can see the New York Liberty winning 20 championships. I mean, that doesn't mean it's going to happen. I can see a lot of things. I don't think it's going to happen. I'm just saying.
Completely fair. But based on Angel's career and what she's done so far, we're judging based off of 1 year with a coach that got fired. And Angel has worked on those aspects of her game that you're talking about. Once those things are set in a place that she finds her rhythm, any player, you can judge them off of their first year and be like, oh, they're not going to be a top 10 player. A lot of players are like that in history, in men's and women's basketball. If Angel is able to work on those aspects of her game and she wins 2 to 3 championships, you're not going to be able to deny that.
I'm just comparing
her.
And
it's a championship organization.
I'm just comparing her to the players in her generation, in her era, and I haven't seen enough where she's even in the top conversation of those players. So I just
but how many of those other players have been the best player on a winning championship team that you've seen in the past? Because Angel has won on every single level and has been not covered or denied and on every single level. So it's like I have seen this work out in the past with the game that she has. It might not be the most exciting.
But we're talking top 10 greatest of all time.
But the little things that it takes to win a championship, I think Angel has those intangibles.
We're talking greatest of all time. This year, she wasn't even rookie of the year. She wasn't even the best rookie of her class. And we're talking about top 10 all-time WNBA players. I need to see more. I'm just not.
But in sports history, has every top 10 player in sports history in every single sport been rookie of the year?
No, absolutely not.
So you can't really take away the fact that she wasn't rookie of the year and say, oh, that's.
But to go with your foreshadowing, I see Angel being a career double-double, averaging career double-double, and a career under 40% shooter. And for that reason, I don't see that translating to being a top 10 greatest player of all time.
On Fiverr, you can find the perfect freelancer to build your website. But you probably already know a guy who knows.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good, I'm good. So my take on Angel Reese being a top 10 player of all time, I don't think she'll get there. I think that if she could put the work in that she hasn't been shown that she's been doing. She hasn't been shown that she's been doing the work.
How has she not been shown that she's been putting in work?
Okay, so
are you in the gym with her?
No, I'm not. But even in her,
are you her coach?
I'm not a coach. But
are you? So you're judging based on her Instagram?
I am definitely judging.
People have to understand that when athletes, this is what I be talking about. A lot of times people see like Sha'Carri Richardson, they be like, oh, she's not working out, she's not this. Her job is not only is to be an athlete. Her job is to be marketable for these companies. If she's signed by Reebok, they're going to take her and they're going to say, hey, Angel, we need you for this X, Y, and Z. If Nike needs Sha'Carri, they're going to say, hey, Sha'Carri, we need you this day, this day, this day. Does not mean they're not training still. People need to get that out their head. That's ridiculous.
Of her Instagram, so she hasn't shown. That she's been putting in that work, like 1,000,000%.
So you follow Angel Reese.
I don't follow Angel Reese, but I looked at her Instagram.
This got the point right here because I follow Angel Reese. Angel Reese is in the gym every day.
I don't see
Actually, any coach that Angel Reese has had, first of all, she worked under Kim Mulkey. If you know anything about Kim Mulkey does not play when it comes to all of those little things and work and whatnot. And she said about Angel and about Flage that they would go and they would do their other stuff and then they would be in the gym the next day. Now, one thing I want to add, because I feel you about to bring up this point about, oh, she's at the Met. The New York Liberty were champions and they were at the Met right there with her. So that's discounted right there. Second of all, as a female athlete, you can't take all the, because athletes in general have a lot going on. You can't take, oh, she was at the Met, oh, because Russell Westbrook or because SGA was at the Met, that means that they're not in the gym. It's what, 2 hours out of her day?
But they're getting results as well too, and she's not. So you can be out and
how is she not getting results?
She's not. They didn't make the playoffs, right? You know what I mean? She did average
in her first year.
In her
and
first
she averaged
year,
a double-double, and she beat Candace Parrish.
Okay, got you, right? So at the end of the day, she didn't make it to the playoffs. Her team had one of the worst records in the league, right? So
as expected from Charles Guy, they weren't supposed to go to the
right?
playoffs.
Okay, understandable. But Caitlin Clark's team did, right? And they did, and she won Rookie of the Year. And so that concept of first-year player thing that got to go out the window because especially when you come in, it's a quick turnaround. The WNBA is not like the NBA, right? You know what I mean? At the end of the day, they go right in from playing in the tournament right to playing for their professional teams within a month or like 3 weeks. So it's really quick. You're in shape. You're in season. You should be right and ready to go. So that concept of...
How is she not right and ready to go, though, if she averaged a double-double and she broke it?
She did average a double-double. Again, her team did not win, right? So we're in a result-driven business, right? So you got to get results, and especially to make points.
She can't get results in any other year but this one?
She can. But she's not.
And if you were following her and you were paying attention, you would know that she was working in the offseason on those aspects of her game that people criticize.
1,000,000%. But again, I see her more at Liberty games than, like, I went to the Liberty playoffs and things. She's there. Like, why are you there? Like,
playoffs.
You lost. You're not in the, you know what I mean? You're gone. Like, I feel like she just wants the attention of being.
You saw her.
So she went to a playoff game as a WNBA player for someone who did not make the playoffs, and you're mad that she's going to watch a game.
Liberty game, and now all of a sudden she's not practicing.
I've seen her at Liberty
and
games.
I do want to know, do you know how hard it is to be a WNBA player and sustain a spot on a WNBA roster? They invite 20 people to training camp and only 12 people get a spot. Do you know how hard it is? They are fighting for their spot with grown women who are doing this as their job. So to be on a WNBA roster in general is very difficult. She's a professional basketball player. If you think because you saw her at one Liberty game that she is not in the gym working, that doesn't even make any sense.
That's not the point. I didn't say that. I just said
that. That's actually what you said when you
I see her out more, right, and in the public eye for nothing that has to do with basketball, right? So at the end of the day, I feel like she needs to be showing that she's in the gym a lot more.
But just because you feel like she needs to be showing you she needs to be in the gym a lot more does not mean she's not in the gym. She's a professional basketball player. I can assure you.
I would love to see
Angel
it.
Reese is in the gym.
I would love to
I can show you a video.
Let's move on.
You're
not going to get surveillance of Angel Reese at the gym.
I would love to see it.
It's going to be a tough one to prove. And Kyrie was just at the Laker game.
So I definitely think that the conversation for women's basketball forever Angel Reese will be in that, as she should be, period. Like that, yes. Top 10, no. Based on stats, solely her game, we're not talking about anything else. That double-double, she got it, sure. That title, sure. But she was purposely missing shots at some point to be able to get the rebound.
Did she tell you that?
I saw it. And if I saw it.
I don't think it's that she's purposely missing shots, but if you see the shot attempts she have to take, every time you see her play, it's like 4 to 5 people guarding her, and all the hands are like this. Like, I've seen videos of like her trying to get rebounds. She get rebounds over 45 people. Like, I don't think she's purposely missing shots. That's kind of
And my thing is that if those were intentional shots, she shouldn't be in the WNBA at all.
Right.
So that's the double-double, it happened, and she holds the record. I love that for her. But that's I don't know about top 10.
Okay, fair. But based off of you watching her and you saying that you feel as though that she were intentionally missing shots as a professional basketball player and that she shouldn't be in the WNBA if she were taking those shots anyways or whatever. All of these are feeling based. At the end of the day, the numbers are what they are, and those double doubles have translated into championships on every level that Angel has played on. So to say that, because in high school, same thing, in college, same thing. So to say that you feel as though she were missing shots on purpose to get a double-double because she doesn't want to win? When has Angel Reese ever shown that she doesn't want to win and that winning isn't important to her? That doesn't even make any sense.
I mean, if you look at the stats of when she was in that double-double era, the one game, I watched many games, but the one game I was at that she was playing in, Chicago was down by so much, and when she reached that double-double for that game to get her over and keep the streak going, she was pulled out and sat, which again, that keeps people talking about Chicago, keeps people talking about her, which there's nothing wrong with that, but there's no way that those are good shots that she's getting off. There's no way. That's not true.
But at the same time, I'm talking about her ceiling and her trajectory as a player and a full body of work by the time she is retired. You're talking about this year. Even if we take out this year and we're just talking about Angel Reese's career from high school into college, from Maryland into LSU, Angel Reese's game has translated into winning on both sides of the floor. So to take this year out of it, she has won on every single level and has had double-doubles on every single level. That has translated into winning. So to say that after working on her game this summer and this offseason, after working on her game and working on those things, her layups, working on her jump shot, working with Lisa Leslie, who is a champion, how can you say that for the rest of her career, when all we've seen Angel Reese do is win, we won't see her win again? Based off of one year.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that she will win at some point. I feel confident in that. It's not that she's not winning. It's not that that's not her mojo in her game. And like you said, she's won at every level, but she's not competing for a seat anymore. She's good on Chicago. She's chilling there for a minute, And then also in the offseason, I mean, I know it's preseason, but Sloot had that beautiful pass to her ready to go. She fumbled it. So, I mean, we're talking about her working, which as she keeps going, which everybody's doing, and even though she was number 7 picked, it doesn't really matter because at the end of the day, there was 6 people above her. And
how many people were below her?
Not many, because there was 36 in the draft. There wasn't, 199.
But you said 6 versus what, 36?
I mean,
36 is a lot more than 6.
I mean, for sure, 100%. But that doesn't translate to
the 7th overall pick.
But that doesn't translate to the best 10 best of all time. That does not equate each other.
But who are you to say that?
I watch it.
No, that's fair. But you watched 1 year. What about all the other years?
I mean,
you said I see that she's a winner and that she's won on every single level, but what? If that's the proof of concept that we have, Angel Reese has won on every single level. Who are we to say that she can't win on the WNBA level?
Jim, you won't believe this. I have ServiceNow AI agents.
Me too. I trained all mine to eat, sleep, and breathe custom.
I think she will at some point. Okay. Absolutely.
Okay, fair. So how does that not? I don't understand.
Yeah, the top 10 is what we're focusing on. She ain't gonna be there.
All right, we've reached a stalemate. Let's move on.
Hi.
How you doing? Liberty ladies.
Good, how are you?
Can't complain. Doing good.
Awesome.
I just wanted to bring up the fact that there are a lot of variables that could go into someone's career. I do agree that Angel is a phenomenal player. I'm glad to see that she was, given all defensive team and unrivaled. You saw the improvements that she had from her rookie season in the W to unrivaled. There's no denying that she's working. She's going to be a champion at some point, but I do agree with my teammates in the fact that she probably won't be in the top 10 at large. But that's solely because of the variables at play. Like, we saw the numbers from this past year, and while I completely agree, you can't take just 1 year and make that your sample size to go on for the rest of her career. But at the same time, she has been known to suffer through injuries and stuff like that. So injuries play a part and all that kind of stuff as well.
Okay, so now you're saying she won't be top 10 because she might get injured?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that the injuries she might suffer will then result in a decrease in playing
But
style.
that's exactly what I just said. That's a hypothetical. So if Angel Reese, if anybody gets injured,
her being in the top 10 is also a hypothetical, because if we're looking at what my teammates have said with the numbers that they've brought up and everything like that, defensively, yeah, she's great, but offensively, there's room to grow. And while I did mention she has grown from the beginning of last year's preseason to now, hell yeah, period, good for you. But at the same time, again, there's room to grow.
But also, I'm actually glad you brought up Unrivaled, because she won on Unrivaled too. And you brought up the fact that you've seen improvements in her game from Unrivaled, which she won the first championship ever from.
She was injured though. She wasn't playing in the championship.
But you're saying that in order to be top 10, and you know this, championships come from a body of work.
Absolutely.
Angel was a part of that team.
Yeah. 100%. There's no denying
100%.
that. I don't mean to step over you. I'm just.
No, it's fine. But I'm saying that it's fine. But you're so nice. But I'm saying that
laughing that deep.
100%.
I don't mean to step over you. I'm just.
No, it's fine. But I'm saying that it's fine. But you're so nice. But I'm saying that
Is that her?
you're actually helping. So nice. But I'm saying that you're actually helping my point by bringing up injuries and saying, well, I've seen that she's worked on her offensive game, boom, which is what everybody here has told me is the reason she won't be top 10.
Yeah.
And when worked on that translated into a championship.
Yeah.
Okay, boom. And then all throughout every other level, she's won a championship. And you also agreed with me that you can't judge her based off of the 1 year and that you're seeing improvements. Yeah. And then you go and tell me that it's a lot of variables and that if she gets injured, she might not be top 10. So it would take an injury?
Well, no, I'm saying that at large, injuries, the way that she's been playing, things happen. The team that she has right now.
But you also agreed with me that you can't judge her off of just her rookie year and that she's improved and Unrivaled, so post-rookie year.
Yeah.
So all we've seen of her since rookie year has been pretty good and improving on those things that we're saying that weren't very good.
Yeah.
So
it's great that she's improving.
100%. Isn't that the goal?
That is absolutely the goal.
Right.
But the improvements that she's making, will that be comparable to that of, I don't want to keep bringing up Caitlin Clark, but, Cameron Brink, let's say. Like, other people that were part of her same draft class and stuff like that.
Yeah, but Caitlin Clark was a part of her draft class. They're two different positions.
Oh, yeah.
Different, and of course, logo shots, very exciting, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But when has that translated into a championship for Caitlin? And I like Caitlin.
Yeah.
When does that translate into a championship?
I mean, it hasn't.
And
that's
going, What championship? Bring up the championship.
You're bringing up facts, but that's the thing.
Right.
Looking at sports at large, not just the W, so many people, when they come back from injury, take baseball, for example.
But there hasn't been an injury. You're bringing up a hypothetical injury that doesn't exist.
Well, that's the thing. You never know what's going to happen in the course of a game.
Neither do you. So you don't know if Angel Reese's ceiling is top 10.
No, I do know.
There hasn't been a hypothetical injury that you're bringing up.
Well, yeah.
Don't know, because everything that you have said so far has further proven my point. If she expands upon her offensive game, which you admitted to me that she has, which translated to a championship and Unrivaled.
But can those numbers get up to the same metrics as that of, other people who've had successful careers? Like, look at Teresa Weatherspoon. She's one of the best defensive players of all time. Do you think that Angel Reese's offensive metrics can get to the same place?
But no, that's not the point. Who am I to say that it can't if that has already improved, if that aspect of her game in her second year, you also agreed that it's very early in her career. If that has already improved that much between her rookie year and the Unrivaled season to now, which we haven't even gotten to this year yet, if that has already improved and you have noticed it and I have noticed it, then yeah.
There's no denying she has a high ceiling, but is her ceiling going to be higher than that of Caitlin Clark or Cameron Brink or Rakisha?
You keep bringing up Rakia. If you keep bringing up Caitlin, and she doesn't have a championship. Yeah. So you're comparing in no sport.
We're not looking at college anymore. We're looking at pro ball.
But we're looking at the example we have, and even in pro ball, Caitlin doesn't have a championship.
I agree, yeah.
All right, ladies. This is getting too intense for me.
Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark have both contributed to the recent rise of women's basketball.
Absolutely, yes. I'm going to say this. If you look at what it takes for things to, upbring, you have Caitlin Clark, you have Angel Reese. them two together, without one, it's not the other. I'm gonna be honest, no one was watching women's basketball when it was just Caitlin Clark. This whole thing kind of became a big old thing once Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark became the beef. When this whole thing, because without a villain or without some type of drama, the story cannot be built. Like,
I just want to ask you, explain to me how. From where are you getting this from?
Where am I getting the idea that Angel Reese and Caitlin
I want to
Clark?
know what Angel Reese did that, put her in that same conversation as Caitlin Clark in that aspect, as in drawing attention to WNBA and bringing people that weren't watching or who weren't interested.
Awesome. I didn't say WNBA, I said women's basketball.
Women's basketball, fine, if you go.
But to put them in the same conversation, I'll put them in the same sentence for you. When Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark played in the national championship against one another, that became the most watched women's basketball game, college, pro, generally, of all time. Almost 10 million.
What were Angel Reese's stats in that game in comparison to Caitlin Clark's?
One championship.
Okay, that's what I asked for. I asked for stats, statisticals. What did she score? What's her box score? Did she outscore Caitlin Clark? Is she the reason why they won the game? I heard someone mention before that there were 3 other 20-point scorers in the game before Angel Reese.
It's not Angel Reese's fault that she was.
So it's not her fault, but you said that it's not her fault.
But also, Angel Reese
it's not her fault, but she should have. But she's the reason why that people are watching.
I mean, that's the NCAA. They made her the most outstanding player.
Okay, great. But is it the reason they watched that game? It's because Angel Reese, or it's because Caitlin Clark? Answer that.
Yeah, Caitlin Clark played all season. Any of those games that Angel Reese wasn't involved in could have been the most watched game ever.
Well, also it's the championship game, so take that in mind. Any championship game is going to be the most watched of the season, correct?
Yeah.
So that statement's fraud. Okay, next. Continue. Next, continue. I'm waiting for you.
You asked me a question.
I asked you a question. Continue your statement. You said, explain to me why that game was the most watched all time because of Angel Reese as well.
Because of the rivalry, the perceived rivalry between Angel Reese.
That she created herself, that Caitlin Clark never even...
Actually, Angel or Caitlin didn't create this rivalry. They've been playing against each other since AAU in 8th grade.
I understand. I'm talking about rivalry on a standpoint where Angel and Caitlin are being compared often, where even though they're different
first of
positions
all,
and
they're different positions.
Yes, so I'm agreeing with you
Why would they
on
get
that.
compared often?
Well, they are. Am I incorrect? So what we're here talking about is we're here talking about Angel Reese, but for some reason everyone who sat up here is talking about Caitlin Clark,
That's not my fault.
including yourself.
That's not my fault.
The first topic you brought up was this.
Right, because that was a direct comparison.
Because she did it. So what I'm saying is that not because Caitlin Clark is the same player as her or different players, that we're comparing this because she's better, she does it better, and Angel Reese wants to be like that. Not in the way of
Angel Reese
not
wants to be
okay.
like
So
Caitlin
can I
Clark.
finish?
Did she tell you
I want to finish. She didn't tell me that, and that's gaslighting. In the next way, see, I don't fall for the gaslight, guys. You have to know this is the new talk. I'm not gonna fall for the gaslight. What I mean is that Angel Reese wants to be Caitlin Clark. Don't tell me, oh, she wants to be a guard. I don't want to hear it. Just let me finish. She wants to be like her, pro-wise. She wants to have the name like her. As she said, we ain't playing women's basketball because of one person. We are watching because Caitlin Clark, not because Angel Reese. Everyone likes her. You watching basketball because of Steph Curry or because of Andre Drummond? That's my comparison.
All right, Drake and Josh, your time is up.
Thank you.
Yeah, he made some allegations that, I don't know, them is not backable, bro.
So we're talking about
him again.
Both brought something to the game, the rise of the women's basketball. I agree some aspect, but let's talk about the attendance, okay? 1.3 million people watch a preseason game. That's a record on ESPN, and they sold out at Iowa. What did Angel Reese do?
Go Hawks.
Half empty, okay? Also, who's moving arenas for? Why is Chicago Sky not playing where the Bulls play, but they're playing when Indiana shows up? It's Caitlin Clark. She's going to have more fans in that arena than Chicago Sky. Oh, let's keep going. DC, all these owners of the WNBA move their arenas for who? For their own team? No, Indiana Fever. And who's on that team? The ponytail girl, the girl from Iowa, the girl dropping ball from Amsterdam, 36 feet on a dot, Caitlin Clark. Okay, Caitlin Clark is like the restaurant. She can dish it and she can cook it. Okay, while Angel Reese is a waitress that fumbles the plates. Oh, I gotta go back and get another dish. and then she comes back. Oh, see, I did good, right? just like her offensive rebounds. Make it the first time. I was in Atlanta, sold out, the biggest arena for women basketball in Georgia history. All colors, black, white, old, young, they're all there. I saw a whole bunch of people rocking Caitlin Clark jerseys.
Bro.
Matter of fact, I was sitting next to a track star who just won Olympics. I had courtside seats. It was one of the greatest moments I've ever been to, and I really love women basketball. So she brings all people with walks of life together. The whole world knows Caitlin Clark. Matter of fact, Olympic team was getting clowned by one of the teams because they said, hey, where's Caitlin Clark at? Like, she's global. And people are wondering, why do people keep hating on Caitlin Clark so much? She's awesome. They do.
Can I get a word in?
No, but I'm just letting you know. I'm trying to drop all the facts, and then you go ahead. Sorry, my bad. Go ahead. I'll respond. Go ahead. Go ahead. I want.
He can't even fit in that. He can't even fit in that chair back there. Hold on, I gotta pull up this again, bro. Brody can't even fit in the chair.
Look, don't get me wrong. Angel Reese has her place making it popular for the WNBA, but it's Caitlin Clark majority. The numbers don't lie. Numbers, attendance.
Okay.
Bro.
Did I say that Caitlin Clark did not have an impact on women's basketball? Did I say that? When did I say that?
Yeah, but you crapped on her about her national championship earlier.
I didn't crap on her. I said Caitlin Clark has never won a national championship,
Okay.
and that's a fact.
Okay, so?
So we were talking about a completely different conversation about Angel's ceiling and her winning at every level.
Okay.
That has nothing to do with both having an impact on women's basketball.
Sure.
If you want to take Caitlin and compare her to Angel and have Caitlin having more attendance and whatever that may be, fine. You can do that. Because Caitlin is incredible.
Mm-hmm.
I also was sitting courtside at Caitlin's game in Atlanta that was sold out. It was incredible, and I enjoyed myself. I'm not taking anything away from Caitlin, nor should anybody. That's not right to do and unfair to do because Caitlin is changing the game hands down. But at the end of the day, Caitlin's fame, and look at the numbers of attendance and of viewership, her popularity skyrocketed to a different level in 2023 when that rivalry happened. And we know with every great movie, with every great sports story, everything, there is.
But didn't you say that the rivalry wasn't made by them, it was by the media?
Exactly.
You said that earlier.
Yeah.
But first of all,
that doesn't discount my point.
By the way, about the national championship, the biggest championship was between South Carolina and Iowa. It wasn't Angel Reese.
Yeah, that hasn't happened.
Caitlin Clark was already trajectory high ratings before the Angel Reese game.
The Iowa South Carolina game was after the LSU game.
No, so what? The UConn. It was UConn. Then it was South Carolina in 2024.
Too much logistics. We got a long queue.
Hello.
I just want you to repeat the question one more time. Thanks.
My claim was that Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark have both contributed to the rise of popularity in women's basketball.
I'm definitely going to disagree on that. And where I want to really talk numbers, I'm just going to put it this way. When they were in college, right, you want to keep bringing up, what Caitlin did, right? It wasn't until when Angel Reese did it that it became more of a bigger thing. But when Caitlin did it, you got to remember.
The points make themselves.
But when Caitlin did it, right, she set so many records in college, right? Did she not overbeat everybody in her college career?
But that hadn't happened yet when Caitlin did
it. Doesn't matter, but I'm asking you now. Did she not do
brought it
that?
up.
You're right, I did, but I'm going to get back to that. But did she not beat all of these records in her college career?
Yeah.
Right. So when she started to beat these records, Caitlin's name was already in the mix. It was already, who is this girl? Who is this girl?
But the scoring
right?
record thing didn't even happen until after the
But it
national
doesn't matter. You're saying the rise, right? You're saying the rise.
But also, you guys keep by me saying Angel Reese has also impacted women's basketball, I am not trying to take anything away from Caitlin.
Okay.
And that's part of the problem with the entire narrative and the conversation that we are having surrounding women's basketball, and that's exactly why I brought up this point, because I said Angel Reese and Caitlin have both contributed. I believe if Caitlin Clark were sitting in my chair instead of me, she would say the exact same thing. It's
a shadow of her.
The 2023 LSU basketball team, not only Angel, but Flau'jae is still, she turned the last March Madness into a marketing masterclass.
Okay.
She's still one of the biggest names in the whole game from that time because of being adjacent to Angel, I might add.
Okay.
Her career skyrocketed. It changed everything. So I'm not taking anything away from Caitlin, and I think that this needs to be a bigger point when it comes to women's basketball in general. Just because I say this person is talented does not mean I'm saying if I give Angel Reese flowers, doesn't take anything away from Caitlin Clark. You think I don't like it? I watch women's basketball. I love Caitlin Clark, and I can acknowledge her impact. Steph Curry's my favorite men's basketball player. That's my favorite type of basketball to watch. Are offensive rebounds as exciting to watch as a logo three? Hell no. That's exactly why Caitlin Clark is selling out stadiums, and people love that type of game. I love it. I spend my own money to watch it. Does that take away from the fact that the rivalry with Angel Reese put her on a different level? No. Because the other players have broken that scoring record before Caitlin. Let's talk about Kelsey Plum.
Okay, let's talk about it.
Okay, what was it the same thing? Was it the same fanfare?
No, it wasn't.
Exactly.
It wasn't.
Because America loves that story.
Okay, but why does America love this story now? Is it are you trying to put them on an equal thing? Are you you're saying they're both the rise of women's basketball?
They both
right?
contributed.
How? What did Angel come to besides the face? What did Angel contribute?
Besides the face.
Yeah. If we're gonna talk about
you're
ball,
acknowledging that she was the faces.
But we're talking about ball. We're talking about the game.
Right.
How is Angel impacting the rise of the game? She's not. Yeah. How is she doing that? We can talk to. If we're gonna talk, we can talk to Caitlin, right? Caitlin scored 769 points in her rookie year. She was averaging 19 points. She was averaging 5.7 rebounds, so she can rebound too. Obviously, it wasn't a double-double, but what rise? I'm asking you, what rise to basketball? If I ask somebody, hey, what do you think about Angel Reese? They're not gonna give me basketball stats. They're not gonna give me that at all. If I ask them about Caitlin Clark, they're gonna give me nothing but basketball stats, and that's the conversation we should be having.
But that's also we're sitting here on a platform we are supposed to be talking about Angel and her stats and her game, right? And so we can bring that. I talked about the double doubles. Okay. I talked about the double double in college. I talked about most outstanding.
But that's all you're talking about.
But I talked about. But those are pretty big
all
things.
you're talking about.
I talked about most outstanding player in the NCAA championship. I talked about winning on every single level. And if you think for a second that little girls watching women's basketball are only watching to look up to Caitlin Clark, you are dead wrong.
Majority of
you don't think
girls
that they're
between her and Angel Reese. For sure.
Okay, let's talk about this. Let's talk about this.
Caitlin Clark.
Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark. But you're still making my point. I didn't say Caitlin Clark didn't have a rise and Caitlin Clark.
But I'm trying to say they're not equal. This is what I'm arguing about. And even again, you're saying.
Let's look at the jersey sales. Let's look at the jersey sales.
Caitlin
is above Angel, but Angel is still up there. Do you see what I'm saying?
I don't see what you're saying.
I don't see how you're missing.
Jersey sales still don't equate. They don't.
Jersey sales don't equate.
She's the face. She's the face. She's a pretty face.
Okay, but if she's
the basketball, so let me get her jersey. You see what I'm saying? I'll get her jersey. Yeah, she's a pretty face.
But if she's one of the
I want that jersey.
One of the faces, pretty, not pretty. I mean, y'all can bring that up. Okay, just she's pretty. That does not mean Angel Reese being pretty or whatever you want to say does not take away from the fact that as a rookie, and y'all are all saying that she can't play. So if she can't play, I don't know what it is. But
I ain't never said she couldn't play.
Bro, her offensive game isn't there, blah, blah, blah. If that's the case, she still has one of the top highest
offensive game is a fact. And again, you're comparing her
but
to
that doesn't mean that she didn't contribute to the rise of women's basketball.
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. Juju is above her and she's still in college.
Above her and what?
And everything. And that's equating to the rise of women's basketball. Dawn Staley said it herself. She didn't say Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. She said Caitlin Clark. Everybody is giving it to Caitlin Clark. And if we ask again, Angel Reese is still not in the topic.
But
they're gonna go old school if we're gonna talk about the rise of women's basketball.
Point. I never
Candace Parker came in and did her thing. That was the rise to women's basketball.
Okay.
Caitlin Clark is just changing the game. It's like Steph Curry. She's changing the game now.
All right, well, we'll think about that as we move on to our next one. Since no one's respecting the clock, we're going to do one more for this topic and then move on. I don't care. I don't take it personally.
I'm not going to debate the analytics or the stats on this one. I'm going to take it back to the 2003 NBA draft. We had LeBron James, we had Carmelo Anthony, we had Dwayne Wade, right? Mm-hmm. And in the draft, 2004 draft, we had Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, right? Now, 2024, 25.
I know what you meant.
Right.
Yeah.
So the reason why I'm going to go with Caitlin Clark is because...
No. I don't mean to interrupt you, but I do want to say... I'm going to go with Caitlin Clark as an answer to my question because I didn't ask you who was better. I didn't ask you who made more of an impact. I said they both made an impact. And you're supposed to be arguing back with me how Angel did not make an impact, how Angel did not bring more eyes to women's basketball. That's what you're supposed to be doing.
Okay.
You're restoring my
They
access to the
can't
HR
because
portal, right?
without Angel
Compliance reports due, and I need that
doing
access
what she did, at the end
ASAP.
of the day, there's no like it's.
But my new agents are on it.
Caitlin Clark, the WNBA was already preparing to give her the keys. I don't see the WNBA trying to give Angel Reese the keys.
The keys to what?
The keys to the kingdom, to the league, to be the face.
Oh, this is not Disney princesses. It's
No,
the
but-
WNBA.
Yes, but when you
I don't
when
care
you
about your
look at it-
metaphorical key.
when you
I'm
look
asking
at
you.
it-
I'm asking you how to you explain to me with words, with numbers, whatever you want to use, and I will respond to you. How Angel Reese is not bringing more eyes to women's basketball. What WNBA rookie, because we want to talk about her rookie class, has, and y'all want to say, oh, metrics, Instagram, oh, social media doesn't matter, is more followed on social media. Social media is moving the needle on everything now. All the advertisers are moving to social media. Most kids aren't even watching the games on television. They're just watching highlights on social media. Shout out House Highlights. Anyways, the point is, Angel Reese is one of the most followed people in the whole league, if not the most. Okay, so
Clark
that's
is moving the needle.
But
She's
I'm
doing
bringing you
exactly
metrics.
what Stephen Curry did with transitioning the league.
No, that's not exactly.
She's
what-
transitioning
That's not
the
exactly
league
what's-
on the way the game is going to be played for the next generation. That's what Caitlin Clark is doing.
But no, because that's metaphorical. First of all, I brought up Kelsey Plum for a reason. I'm bringing up people have broken that record before her. That's part of the problem. Nobody cared about the people who broke that record before her because they didn't have a built-in media-made villain going like this in their face for everybody to adopt that story and fall in love with. That's the difference. That record has been broken before. Caitlin Clark isn't doing something that has never been done before besides having more eyes on her. And outside of all of that, I don't even like the fact that you're putting me in a position where where it's like I have to
Choosing.
bring Caitlin Clark down because I'm not asking you to choose. I'm asking you to give Angel recognition for the fact that
she had-
Angel Reese, none of this does not happen if Angel Reese doesn't go like this and Twitter doesn't go nuts calling her a classless piece of shit. None of that, it goes completely differently. It goes completely differently. The record had been broken before.
Okay.
They asked to bring up basketball history. Look at basketball history. Cheryl Swoops. Look at all the people in the top 10.
But we're
that
talking-
nobody was paying the same amount of
But
attention.
we're talking about who's more iconic at this point.
No, we're talking about the fact that Angel Reese made an impact generally.
Caitlin Clark impact is more significant.
That's not the question.
That's my argument.
All right.
Her impact is more significant.
Because of what?
Because of the way she's playing the game, her sportsmanship.
But
the world is starting to see. The world is starting to see that she can be the face. The WNBA is
But
not
why
pushing
the
Angel Reese
previous-
as the face.
why the
They're
previous-
pushing Caitlin Clark, and it's for a reason.
Why?
The same
Where's
reason
the
why I
Wilson?
brought
Hold
up the
on.
2003 draft, where I felt like Carmelo Anthony was the better offensive player than LeBron, but because LeBron was the more likable player, they gave LeBron the keys to the NBA.
But
The
LeBron's
same
champion.
thing they're doing.
LeBron's a champion. I want to say this, and I'm done. Caitlin Clark, of course, moves the needle. Of course. To take away the fact that Angel Reese had an impact only completely negates every other point that you're making, because you're saying you care about Caitlin because of her game, but you are completely ignoring the fact that that game has been played before, those records have been broken before,
already.
and you did not care because you are sitting here debating me as an Angel Reese hater, right? You're sitting here as Angel Reese hater.
Right.
And part of that Angel Reese hate makes you a Caitlin Clark lover even more, whether you want to admit it or not.
Bias.
Because that record was broken before. That record was broken before.
So I'm being
and
biased.
You ignored it. What? The record was broken before.
Her name is Lynette Woodard.
Well, that Woodard, history lesson.
I was gonna say one thing, cause I just want to bring up one point with, and I don't even know if this low key like the actual argument or your argumentative style. And so I feel like a lot of my teammates have come up here, and the points that you've argued you've highlighted the fact that their points are opinionated, and you've done the same thing, right? So if we're saying that your point is they both have impacted the game, right? No one's denying that. But I think what my teammates are trying to say is no one has made you discredit Caitlin Clark. You did that on your own. So to blame them for that is gaslighting. Then it discredits their
Oh my
point.
God, am I in therapy?
Right? Hey, I am Coach D, the mental hygienist. So I think it's about being able to also, when we talk about argument, and have reason. And so when we're
Haven't had
saying,
reasons?
no, I'm saying reason. No, not reasons.
Okay.
Reasoning in argument is a logical term, right? So
doing too much,
meaning
bro. Like,
A plus B is not always C. That's reason. What I mean by that is they both impact the game. My teammates are saying Caitlin Clark moves the needle on basketball, right? Versus Angel, who moves the needle on viewership, on interest, on engagement. No one can deny that because she's on McDonald's bags, because she has her own podcast, because she's at the Met Gala, because she's transcending the sport and she's showing girls femininity. My sister don't play basketball, no Angel Reese. My sister don't play basketball, she knows Caitlin Clark too. So when we talk about moving the game, impacting the game, when you look at someone like Cynthia Cooper and Cheryl Swoops, you had to change the way you played. Right? Now, we can even bring it back when Elena Beard came in the game. You had to change the way you play. But even Elena Beard didn't get that notoriety. So, impact, right? I think they both have impact. One has impact on the game. Also, too, because of her race. And that's a whole nother conversation, right? Caitlin has that because white America, media, whole thing. And so, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, they're trying to do that with them, right? I do think that to your point of, and this is the only thing I wanted to address, when you said, I don't like the fact that y'all making me feel like I have to go against Caitlin to give Angel her flowers. No one did that but you. Everyone up here is giving Caitlin their flowers. What they were talking about was basketball stats. Caitlin moved the game in terms of how the game will be played, in terms of how coaches will coach. Angel has not done that. She can, but if you just said that they can't project from her rookie season, neither can you.
But I'm not just taking her. I like that you speak with such conviction. It was very
always.
But and I like that you broke down my argument style. But that still doesn't take away from my point, actually, because you actually further prove my point that Angel, even though, like I said previously, in any other sport we would be judging who is better based off of championships. In any other sport, it is the truth. Not in the WNBA, but Caitlin doesn't have a championship, period. So my point is, obviously the play style is great, and I said it, it's exciting, people want to see logo threes, whatever. But in previous years, nobody has cared as much about players that were popular for shooting threes and breaking scoring records prior to Caitlin Clark. Part of the allure of the Caitlin Clark situation,
that's not true.
Not on the same
Maya Moore.
Not on the same level.
Maya Moore.
Okay, I'm glad you brought up Maya Moore. I'm glad you brought up.
But we're talking about impact, because I feel like we diverting, and I feel the button about to get pressed.
But I'm yes.
But you said impact, and they both had.
But I'm glad you brought up Maya Moore. Because for Caitlin to get a Nike shoe straight out of college without a championship, that is not happening with any other sport.
Because she's white. We can't bring that up. Because Cheryl
I know.
the first
But
thing.
exactly.
You
So
got
that
little,
further
because
proves
you
my
have
point.
little white girls in Indiana. Larry Bird was the last white MVP. This is America.
Right.
So now America got somebody they can look at and say, yes, that's us.
But does that
like us? They waiting to sing our song.
But does that not prove my point? Angel.
Look at her face.
Like us, they waiting to sing our song.
But does that not prove my point? Angel. Angel
impacted because she on McDonald's bags. Caitlin impacted.
How does she?
Now
How
she
does
got
she get on McDonald's bag?
Would Angel Reese?
Angel not making people want to play basketball.
Would Angel Reese be on a McDonald's bag if she was not a champion averaging a double-double? Would she?
Nah, bro. I don't. You know what? I'm gonna get up because I don't.
So you're saying Angel Reese is just an influencer? That don't even make no sense.
I didn't say that. You put words in my mouth. I said they both impacted. One impacts because of her visibility, and one impacts and actually pushes the game. So if we're talking about just the game. Angel when I Coach D, little girls that I know that love Angel Reese, they talking about hair, they talking about style. I love that for us. But
aren't you the coach?
When people talk about Caitlin Clark,
you direct the conversation if they're looking at the
jump
game.
shot. That's what I'm saying. Angel impacts wanting to be a part of the culture. Caitlin impacts wanting to be a better ball player.
Right.
The gavel.
Bro.
Angel's rebounding and double-double records as a rookie deserve more credit.
The speed and efficiency of the Fiverr freelancers has really been game-changing for us. It's helped take us from telling the story.
I already know. They're not even
Been waiting on this one. How you doing? I'm back. Okay. So, You brought up these double doubles a couple times, all right? So let's talk about other players in WNBA history who have averaged a double double. All right, so we got Asia Wilson, Jonquel Jones, Caitlin Clark, in assist, right? We have Asia Wilson, Jonquel Jones, Sylvia Fowles. And I know I'm forgetting somebody, right? But we have several other players in the history of the WNBA who have averaged a double-double throughout the season, right? We're not sitting here having a conversation about if Jonquel Jones is the best player in the WNBA, right? We're not having, and Jonquel Jones,
Finals MVP.
Yes, she's Finals MVP, she's regular season MVP, and she has a championship. But we're not having that argument. We're having an argument about Angel Reese because of her popularity, because she's so famous.
But we're not. That's not what I'm talking about.
But everything you have not brought any stats to produce why Angel Reese is the best player.
Literally talking about stats. That's what the whole argument's about.
No, you've been talking about popularity, her eyes on the game. Anytime someone starts.
This is we're doing a bunch of different separate arguments, and to cover Angel's body of work as a person and as a player, you have to talk about those things, which is why we've had arguments about those things, an argument about her as her ceiling as a top 10 player, where I brought a lot of stats, actually. And then now we're talking about double-doubles, which the whole premise is stats.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so let's talk about Angel Reese stats, and in particular the double-doubles, right? Double-doubles, cool, whatever. In college, I think she had the record for the most consistent double-doubles, but then I think her teammate might have broken that record this year in Anisha Morrow. But anyway, so she held the record for half a season, right? Now we get to the WNBA, where I think the New York Liberty ended her streak of double-doubles. And then we have...
the champions.
Okay, but they weren't they weren't the reigning champions when they did that, right? Like, they were just another team.
No, they weren't. They were a championship team, because that team went on to win a championship.
But they were not the champions at that time. When we go into the season, right? Who's the champion right now? If we're going into the 2025 season, who's the champion right now?
But the point is,
who were the champions when that was broken?
The team that was compiled at the time when they broke the streak was the team that won the championship. So it's like in any case, we could look at that and be like, okay, she's a rookie and they're the champions, like duh.
But yeah, like we're okay, cool.
You can't even argue the fact. How many people have even nothing to say? They just trying to argue the fact to prove their point, but everything they have to say have something to do about Caitlin Clark. And it just kind of.
But
anyways.
But now that was high school. Okay, anyway.
But no, but she bring it up in a WNBA conversation. So
you've been bringing it up in the WNBA conversation this whole time.
I brought it up because I said her game has translated into winning on every single level, which is completely fair to bring up, because the only thing we have to go off of as far as her body of work is concerned is a rookie year, her college career, and her high school career. That's all we have to look at.
Your argument is that Angel Reese double-double should get more credit.
Right.
Yes. Why? She's a post player. She's a traditional post player. She should be getting a double-double. Right? Like, doing that is her job. Right. She's not doing anything except for her job.
Completely fair.
She's getting paid to do
completely fair. Completely fair. But every single person who is doing their job, if you're doing your job at an exceptional level and you have records that are tangible, are you not going to go to your boss and be like, I want a raise? No. Like duh. Like, why would you not? If you're doing your job, you're saying that's just her job, right?
What is she doing exceptionally?
But
like, what is she doing? She for the season, she averaged 0.1 from three, right? She's 76.
But you're saying she's a traditional post player. So what's she supposed to do?
But she's 76% from the free throw line.
Right.
She's averaging sub 50% from the field. She's sub 40% from the field. Like, what is she doing exceptionally? Yes, offensive rebounding, cool. But if we're gonna start hanging championship banners for offensive,
I didn't say.
Well, okay, hear me out. Diana Taurasi is one of the players that is most widely considered one of the greatest players of all time, right? She in her entire WNBA career, 20-something years, had 240 offensive rebounds. So obviously that stat ain't that damn important when we're talking about GOATs, right? So now all of a sudden, why is Angel Reese the best? Because she can offensive rebound.
But I didn't say that she's the best. I said that she deserves credit. And on top,
whole debate about her being the best?
No. When did I say that she was the best? I said do her double-double records deserve more.
See, the problem is, like, every single time people bring up Angel Reese, they think they have to downplay her, like, or they just downplay her simply. Like, they'll be like, Angel Reese, if you try to say Angel Reese is good, they'll be like, what, Caitlin Clark is better, or, well, Asia Wilson is better. It's like, I'm not saying they're not good. I'm just bringing up the fact that Angel Reese is not a player that y'all say she is. Like they say that she suck and all that extra stuff.
No, because she's doing her job. That's it.
But also, if that's just her job at base level, why isn't anybody else doing it? Why hadn't anybody else broken it? If it's so easy and everybody can do it and it's just so simple, then okay, somebody else do it. I don't understand.
They have. I listed the people who have done it.
No, I've averaged a double-double. We're talking about the record.
So in order for her to break the record, that means somebody had to have the record, right?
Right, Candace Parker.
Okay, so Candace Parker is now retired, right? I'm sure.
Yes, she is.
Yes, and that's what I said. She's now retired.
Right.
Yeah, I said she's
a lot of records are being broken by people who are already retired. That has nothing to do with it.
All right, double bang. Very rare situation. All right, let's get gaslit.
All right, just a quick question. How does double-double shooting 40% from the field equate to being or needing more attention than what it gets? I want you to explain that to me.
I didn't say attention. I said credit.
Credit, same thing.
You're paying it, whether or not you're giving it credit, by saying that to me, you're giving it attention. So I'm not saying anything about attention. I'm saying about credit. I'm saying that shouldn't be discredited as far as we're talking about Angel's body of work.
If anything, in my opinion, I think it's credited more than what it should be.
Really?
They talk about double-doubles like it's impressive. Like someone just said before.
Did you average a double-double in a professional basketball
I don't play
league?
basketball, so that's not reasonable. It's not an argument. Like again, like I said before, I don't want to repeat myself. That's a full gaslight. Bro, I don't play basketball professionally. I'm not Angel Reese. Let's talk about the conversation. We're not gonna get off topic. Angel Reese double-double is not impressive at 40%. Like I said, the reason as why I'm saying that is because it's looked at more than it should be. Why are we looking at someone who's averaging double-double when they should be? Like someone just said, she's a forward, and she should be rebounding 10 rebounds a game. And shooting under 40% is not impressive. So I don't understand what you're saying, why it deserves more credit.
If she's doing what she's supposed to do as the 7th pick in the WNBA draft, and as she's supposed to do as her position on the Chicago Sky, why does that not deserve credit? That's if she's doing her job as a professional basketball player well, exceptionally, record-breakingly, then why does that not deserve credit? Also, to your point of, oh, it's so easy. Yeah, it does. It's so easy. Like averaging a double-double, anybody can do that in their sleep.
When you
then
throw
why
the
isn't
ball at
everybody
the rim
doing
and get it back, it's pretty easy.
Then why isn't everybody doing it?
She's doing it on purpose. No one cares enough about their own personal agenda like Angel Reese. That's what we're mentioning the whole time. She cares about a personal agenda and her stats.
I mean,
that's
the argument
why,
writes itself.
So we're arguing the whole time about if she's going to equate to winning. I personally don't think she's going to win a ring if she doesn't change her mentality very quickly. Just like we spoke before.
Okay.
Okay. And then
what mentality are you referring to? What professional athlete's mentality is, yeah, like sportsmanship, like beat me, yeah. Like what professional athlete's mentality is that? That don't even make sense.
You're not talking about mentality. I didn't mean mentality in the way of.
But you said mentality.
Okay. Well, so let me explain myself. What I meant by mentality. I didn't mean mentality by the way of her acting or being intense or being intensifying the game. I meant in the way where she is. We've seen it happen. We watch the games. She throws the ball at the rim, gets it back to put it back up to get her record. There are players who are selfish and there are players who are not selfish. In my opinion, to win a championship, you have to be a team player and not a selfish player.
Just because you feel like Angel Reese is no.
Let me finish one second. Let me just finish. NBA players and WNBA players and any sports players, and especially you see it actually in Europe a lot, in Euro leagues, they all are the most unselfish players, and that's why they win basketball games. And that's why basketball games are won, because teams put together players who want to win the game.
Right.
So you want to talk about equating to winning? Right. I don't believe that, especially if I'm looking at her throwing the ball off the rim, trying to get it back.
Anybody who has coached and played on a team with Angel Reese has said that she is a completely unselfish player and has elevated their ceiling. You look at Flage. The jump that she made between her freshman and her sophomore year in college, she attributed straight up to Angel Reese. Kim Mulkey, one of the most you don't run the program, I run the program coaches in women's basketball history, okay? Has said Angel Reese is a completely unselfish player. So to say that is like, what, you know her? Like, you can't sit here and tell me Angel
I don't know her, but I told you what I just said. From my opinion, what I just saw and what I see is that.
Yeah, but I'm telling you facts. I'm telling you facts from people who have played with her, who people in the locker room with her, and it has translated into winning. So this argument.
I thought winning doesn't count in high school. You just said it's high school. We're talking about WNBA.
No, I didn't say it doesn't count. I said that was high school. We were talking about the WNBA. But you just said she's selfish and a selfish player won't win a ring. And I'm saying that everyone who has played with Angel Reese and coached Angel Reese has called her an unselfish player, and her style of play has translated into winning. So that.
All I could say for my argument.
Jim, you won't believe this. I have ServiceNow AI agents.
Me too. I trained all mine to eat, sleep, and breathe customer service.
I don't have facts, but we'll see. So.
You don't.
Do you get gaslit often by most people you meet?
Do you think that her double-doubles, if you just looked at the highlights of each one in each game that she kept that going, do you think it was good, solid basketball every single time where you're like, damn, that is a good shot, that's a good rebound, she's a good player? Do you think that?
I think she's a great player.
No. That's not what I said. Those stats specifically and those moments in those highlights, if you go back and look at every single time she got the double-double during that streak, do you think they looked good? Like it was good basketball?
Majority, yes.
So what about the majority? Give me the other piece of that that's not in the majority.
I think that Angel Reese's claim to what makes her Angel Reese and what has contributed to winning across her career has been being a great rebounder. That has been a huge part of her game, right?
Okay.
And she was an excellent rebounder in her first year of the WNBA, right?
Yeah.
If Angel Reese sees that as her ticket to winning, and if that is a huge part of her game, and she is continuing to do that and improve upon that, then why wouldn't she? If you were in the WNBA and your ticket was, okay, I'm a great rebounder, and yeah, okay, right now my offensive game is not the best. But if you are Angel and you're just letting the ball go, that has never been her game. So in my opinion, first of all, sitting here and guessing her intentions is crazy because neither of us are in the locker room with her. All I can judge is based off of what it translates into and what the stats are, okay? But I think that if that is what makes Angel Reese great and has throughout her career, why would she not continue to do it? That doesn't make any sense.
Buzzer beater. Perfect buzzer beater. So bring in our last contestant.
I just wanted to bring up one thing, which is the whole time we've been saying that, records are meant to be broken. Records are meant to be broken. I do agree that she should have been celebrated, but at the same time, it's a record that's going to be meant to be broken. Who knows if this season, someone might break it. While it's great that she did it, I think it got the right amount of press, I guess we could say, because it's a record that is meant to be broken. Just like how all of Caitlin's were as well.
100% of records are meant to be broken.
Yeah.
Also celebrated, as you
Absolutely.
mentioned. And I feel like that's also a hypothetical. So what if somebody breaks it this year?
That's my favorite thing.
I'm sure Candace Parker said the same thing.
Yeah,
What if somebody breaks it? That doesn't take away from the fact that it has
happened.
talent to do that.
Absolutely, 100%. 100%.
So it deserves credit. It doesn't.
It does.
It shouldn't be this bargaining chip on. Oh, Angel Reese averaged a double-double. So that's her job. So she's getting paid to do that. She's a professional basketball player. Right. That's what she's on the court to do, and that's what the Chicago Sky believe would contribute to them winning a championship in the future. So if she's doing it, that deserves credit.
Yeah, word.
All right, our judges will now deliberate. Give yourselves a round of applause. Great round of hating.
Let's see.
All right, while our judges consider Mariah, who was the strongest debater?
Coach. And I think also because you're loud. I gotta get a word in. All right, you get so passionate. I'm like, am I supposed to stop her? I feel like I'm in church. Wow. But you're excellent.
Did you make any rivals throughout this process?
I think are you Drake and Josh?
The gaslighter? All right, we have a final determination. Our judges have their ruling in. Let's start from the far end.
I'll be really brief. I'm gonna take the haters for this one. Just on the professional end of the things, with sports conversations, I kind of set the bar really high for you coming out the gate just because, prerequisite, you were supposed to come in here, with a lot of steam, behind Angel. And you left a lot of wiggle room for, for the haters to really creep up in there with some very good points, especially, our Liberty fans in the building. Yeah, you guys are moving like champions today, so a lot of boldness. So, yeah, I'll just pass it off to the next judge.
I'm going with the fan today. The haters lost me with some of the femininity conversations and standing on a lot of opinion. I felt like the fan was able to come with what I love, which is basketball history, basketball knowledge, knowing the game, both culture and on the court. So I'm gonna give it to the fan.
Thank you.
All right, so it all comes down to one final vote.
Yeah, so this one is really difficult, and I want to give both sides a compliment on how you did today. You brought a lot of facts to the table, and you had very good points in your arguments. But it's tough, right? Because each prompt you know, there is so many truths on both sides of each prompt, right? So it was just a matter for me about who came to the table with the most truth, and who came to the table and stuck to the prompt and to the actual debate at hand. So I'm gonna have to go with, I'm going with the fan.
Winner, winner.
All right, that does it for Fan v Hater.
Alright, y'all, that's the wrap of this video. Hope you guys liked it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if y'all want to see any more reaction videos. This was a really good video just to kind of like see what other people's thoughts are. Like I said, I do go to Iowa. I'm on the track and field team here as well. So like, yeah, it was just really cool to kind of see like what other people think and everything. But I don't know. Some of the points that they were making just didn't really like stick with me. Like they're saying like when she had asked if Caitlin Clark is Angel Reese, like, did she contribute to anything? And they said no. Like, at the end of the day, she literally contributed to a lot of the stuff that the WNBA is seeing, as well as, like, women's basketball in general. Let me know what you think in the comments, though. This was a crazy, super long video. If you got this far, man, thank you. But, yeah, until next time.